break-in or burn-in, however you want to call it. And second channel, hello second channel, thank you for being here. Just going to go over a couple of the rigs set up in my house to break in things. So right now I've got the Atriums there just playing on my desk. And I don't usually break in headphones there. I should probably describe what break-in is first for anyone who just randomly found this in the video on the internet. Hi, how are you doing? My name is Steve. I'll be your host. People call me Z for Zeos Pantera. And break-in is the process of, specifically with audio equipment, but also jeans, tires, cars, anything that moves that can change a little bit while it moves. Like when you wear brand new jeans. Brand new jeans are stiff as fuck. Brand new shoes are stiff as fuck. And they're uncomfortable, and you have to wear them in until they're comfy. And you know when you get that perfect pair of jeans or perfect pair of shoes that, you know, after a while, that's when they become great. And it's the same for headphones. At least some headphones, at least some people believe it. I don't believe it for wires. I don't believe it for solid state amplifiers. Tubes do change. In fact, tubes peak and then start degrading for the next like 3,000 hours. But moving drivers, if it's physically moving, you got to understand how small a movement a headphone is doing to make a sound. Like even a bass note where it's 5 hertz or 20 hertz, it's like 20 times a second, it's moving microscopic amounts. So if you take a brand new fresh driver off the assembly line and then just run it, it's going to be very tight and stiff. If you run it for 20 hours or so, it's going to have moved and stretched a little bit, and it might be slower or faster, or the actual comb might flex. And this is something that's going to happen naturally. You don't even have to do it if you don't want to. I'm not saying you have to do this, but as a reviewer who doesn't have time to physically sit and just use a headphone like I got it brand new, I have to have a setup that just plays either music or pink noise. If you don't know what pink noise is, Zeos will link pink noise in the description. But I usually just have here my little Hibby R3 hooked up to power, external power, and it's just got 1,000 random songs on it. This is a Tascam MSH, which is currently off. And actually, both of these things are currently off because I've actually given this a break for the first time in like a year. All the IEMs have been moved. But essentially, you just use things. Breaking in a headphone is just using it. Just use it at like normal listening volume or slightly above normal listening volume, just to get the drivers to, you know, it's not like working out kinks or sand. There's no sand in the motherfuckers, but it's just to get it to figure out what it's going to sound like for the rest of its life. Because I've gotten headphones that I've listened to them straight out of the packaging and I'm like, something's wrong, something's missing, something's meh. And people will say, well, burn-in's not real because you used a headphone for 40 hours. And therefore you get used to that sound and it's breaking your head. But I use a headphone for 12 seconds and go, okay, and then put it on the machine and just let the amplifiers, just 8 amplifiers here, just play music forever. And I ignore it. I have other things to do. I'm the Zeos. I don't need this brand new, oh my God, by the way, these are the worst headphones ever. These are a Magnavox version of the Schiff 9500s. Break-in did not help these. Also, breaking could also do the opposite effect. It could make it worse. Something might be better if it's tight, and then you loosen it up and it gets worse. But at least you know that for the rest of its life, until it wears out so much that it falls apart, it's going to be worse. So you might as well get to that stage immediately, because there's no point in using a headphone that only works great for the first 10 hours and you have to throw it away. So burner rig, big old amplifier, multiple channel amplifier. And that rig. The other thing I've got going on right now, and the reason I really wanted to start this video, is Triangle sent me their 40th anniversary cometes. And I was using them, and I'm like, you know what? These probably use some burn-in. So I'm going to pause the music for a second. This is interesting, and this is why I wanted to talk. Let's uncover this, because burning in speakers isn't as easy as headphones. Headphones, you leave them on a table, or IEMs, leave them on a table and just do their thing. Balanced armatures, by the way, don't burn in, they don't break in, they don't have enough moving parts, or I don't know why it's said that they just don't change, but they don't change because there's such a small thing. But dynamics in an IEM can change. So speakers are harder because speakers usually mean playing speakers. I've got those Buchart A700s upstairs, and they'll specifically say 30 to fucking 150. Was it 50 to 300 hours? I think it was like 20 or 50 to 300 hours of all the drivers, because there's multiple massive drivers moving to, you know, sort of let them find their zen zone where they're going to be like that consistently. Because a lot of the times when they're tuning a speaker, they tune the speaker for a driver that's been worn in, because you don't want to tune a speaker to something brand new and then, oh shit, you've been running it for 2 weeks and now the driver properties are slightly different, and just slightly. I'm talking about 4%. I don't even know if that's a real thing. And you could measure burn-in and break-in. You can. I don't know if anyone's actually done it. I can't find any fucking results of it. But I know if I put a brand new set of headphones versus a pair of headphones I've been using for 2 months, like using for 2 months, you'll like, oh, this has a little bit, just a little bit, just slightest a little bit. Anyway, here's how you break in speakers. I figured this out yesterday. I didn't figure it out. I've known I could do it, but I've never actually put it to the test. So amplifier there, set of speakers. What you do is you have to be able to set your source to mono so that it's now playing the exact same sound out of both left and right. And then you take the speaker wires out of one. This only really works with self-powered. I don't know how you would do this with, this doesn't really work with self-powers. This only works with passive speakers because you need to reverse the phase on one speaker. What that does is it means these speakers are not fighting each other and doing this. They're doing this. When you reverse the speaker wires, you have a set of speakers completely out of phase, when instead of it going bajung, it goes bajung. It goes backwards. But if you change one speaker out of phase, then it does this. And that's why shit sounds real fucking weird when you do that. But I'm using that to my advantage, because the sounds coming out of that speaker are canceling out the sounds coming out of that speaker. And since they're right close together, I mean, I've got the grills in place. It's not like actually smashing the drivers. But when that 6.5 goes out, this 6.5 goes in and out. And I'm lucky because this has front ports. So the 2 ports now, instead of going chuff out, it's also going chuff in. So it's literally, they're face fucking. They're just balancing out everything. And if I put back on the music now that I've uncovered all this, doesn't sound like much. Like I'm here talking to you and it's like, how you going? Let's find another song. Let's skip forward a little bit. So now, let's listen to the sound of my voice. Let's take one away and see how loud it gets. That's pretty loud with it. So that's what I'm doing here. I've accomplished it. If it was rear ported, I wonder how it would be different. This is the first time I've done this with speakers. But I really want to, these are a $2,500 set of speakers. And I really want to listen to them at their like, good to go, ready to review, fucking peak existence. And just having them play music is fine. But this is my basement and it's my little Narberth. It's a little side area and I don't want to have this music blasting. In fact, I wanted to go to sleep. My bedroom's over there. And I've let speakers play down here. And it's kind of fucking annoying because I'm sleeping over there. But with this system, with the ability to, like, it's a whisper. It's a little baby whisper. And then all of a sudden it's like, now, if I were to reverse this again, oh, there. That's amazing. That's how noise canceling headphones work. In case you didn't know how like the Bose or the Apple or the IEMs, they have a microphone that listens to the real world, and the real world sends waves like this, and the headphones listen as fast as possible and send out waves like this. They fight. They just cancel each other out. So that's how you do it. That's the point of this video, was to show that I can burn in speakers. Like the high frequencies are just a little bit too fast to be perfectly, but there's no bass. I'm on a concrete floor. I don't know how well this would work if you're trying to do this in your house with like wood floors, because there's still movement. There's still like drivers, doing things. But it's a pretty... Here, I put the TV on. It's a pretty amazing amount of shut the fuck up. And this only works really well, like perfectly well, when you have it in mono. I forgot to do that last night when I went to bed, and I could still hear this while I was in bed. The Frozen OST, that'll definitely get me taken off you. That's a short music for short people. Here, epic score. So let's take it out of mono. There's not mono. So this is still two speakers out of phase playing at each other, but stereo, you know, things aren't in mono when you listen to music. Things are happening in the left channel, the right channel. And if something's happening here and not happening here, it's not canceling out. When you force it into mono, exactly the same things happen. Now you could do that maybe with an amplifier. You could even, if you really, really wanted to, if you had an amplifier you were willing to trust to do this, wire it into a single channel. So you'd have the left channel power both speakers, and then instead of going in phase on both, you go out of phase on another, and it would do the same thing. In fact, then you could burn in 4 pairs of speakers, but that would change the ohm load on the amplifier. I'm using the boot cart. I gotta know your fucking model number. If I'm gonna review you, what are you? AVIS? What? Anyway, boot cart free. But there, that's what I went to bed with. I went to bed with it making that much noise, and I covered it with pillows. Now, once I switch this to mono, and that's Alt-M, the drivers are still moving as much as that loudness was. You just can't tell because it's completely canceling each other out. This might also be an indication of how good these speakers are. So if I wanted to break in, say, these towers, which are already broken in, but I would just put them face to face, correct phase in one, out of phase in the other, blast it. It's like, what the hell is that? I mean, I know what the hell it is. That's infected mushroom bombat. Okay, ready? You hear it go away as I bring it together. You get a little sliding kick. And then that little bit of like hissing, you take that out with just covering with blankets and pillows. Just throw them against where they kiss. Again, I don't know how it will work with the port in the back, but it shouldn't be too bad. But it'll definitely be more low end than what we've got here. This is completely, in fact, let me show you the face of the actual speaker. There, we've got the 2 bottom ports. I think that's a 6.5. Is that a 5 1/4? And then here's your mega tweeter, the mega triangle tweeter. So that's just cool science. So there, enjoy your cool science for the day. It makes me think I could do the same thing with headphones. I would have to build a cable, because I do, you know, headphones, IMs, it wouldn't matter. Headphones would only matter if you could actually get the cups so close together that they cancel each other out, because right now they're just doing their normal thing. I'd have to build a mono adapter and then out of phase one of the channels, and then the headphones would cancel each other out and be pretty much dead silent. If I can make these pretty much dead silent and they're fucking loud, then you can make those pretty much dead silent. Let's go to another track, just as another demonstration. Not the Beatles. Perfect. Girl from Ipanema. Actually, no, I think I've gotten copyright strike from that one. Whatever this is. I'm going to take it. I'm going to go not mono. So much less. And then I have a mono hotkey set up for foobar. And then it's gone. So yeah. Just sleep. Sleep. Sleep, baby. I think the actual box is now what's making the most noise. I don't think I need that anymore. Boom. I think the actual box resonating is what's causing the most sound. But yeah, these were going all night. And then I came down here and flipped it to mono and oh my God, did I break it? They just disappear. So there it is. Science. Second channel science. It would be harder on something like these Swans. You'd have to, I don't know how you'd figure out how to swap. And you can use just pink noise. If you edited a pink noise file that was stereo and reversed the phase on the actual, in fact, I should do that for you. Maybe I'll do that for you, but it would have to be a mono pink noise broken into stereo and then phase reversed so that it was perfectly lined up. And then you could just point speakers at each other and you wouldn't have to do any of this crazy wiring. Pink noise is not exactly needed. I like pink noise if you got to go fast. I want this burnt in 35 hours, not 75 hours, so you do pink noise. But I like music too, because a lot of times you do pink noise, you have to put brakes in, because you are moving a mechanical driver as hard as it can go, and you should probably not do that for 75 hours straight. You want to do it for like 2 hours, off for 15 minutes, let it cool off. There is heat being generated by the movement of that. So yeah, that's a thing. So there's that thing. I'm just, it's amazing how much sound negativity you can create with that. And I want to get to listening to these speakers like immediately and reviewing that Bucky. Review Bucky. So yeah, that's it. So go make your speakers kith and enjoy. Just use your head. Like, here's the thing though. If you come all the way to the end of this video, you don't need to do this. If you get a headphone out of the box and you fucking like it, don't bother burning it in. But I know what'll happen because it used to happen constantly. I'll review a headphone or an IM and people are like, wait, Zeos, did you give it 35 hours of break-in? Because you don't give it at least 35 to 42 hours of break-in, it's not the best it could be. And I would be like, well, I didn't. So now, fuck you, I always do. Everything that comes up here in this house, headphone, IM, and apparently now speaker, is going to get as many hours of break-in and burn-in as I could ignore it. Anyway, back to your normal scheduled second channel programming. It's a cool thing. Anyway, my friend Dan's coming over. We're going to go get salads. I've never been so excited for salads. You ever been to Salad Works? Salad Works is amazing. Let's go.